When I drive my EV, people sometimes ask, how long does that take to charge? It doesn't take any time, I reply, or at least I never wait for it. That's easy at home, but I also almost never wait on road trips. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take EV road trips almost always charging with zero waiting, and a good chunk of the time you can even charge for free. Let me take you on a short trip I just did earlier this week, when we decided to head down from the SF Bay area to Vandenberg Space Force Base to watch a NASA satellite go up. That's a short 2-day trip, but we also did a zero-wait, only pay sometimes trip in January, as far as Moab, Utah, 1,300 miles away during freezing temperatures. That I'll tell you about in a later video. What's the catch? Today, doing a zero-wait, low-pay trip takes more thinking than it should. That's going to change with time as we get just a bit more charging and better tools to navigate to it. But it can definitely be done today, over 90% of the time. If you know how to do it, let's go. The technique itself isn't complex. Stay at hotels that offer free EV charging to guests. There's a lot of them, and before long, almost every hotel will offer charging, though not always free. You wake up with an extra full, warm car which charged while you sleep. Zero wait, zero detour, zero inconvenience, and usually zero extra money. Then drive all morning as you like. In the area where you'll get low, find a medium-fast charger next to some decent food and have lunch. Depending on whether you're having a hard slog or stopping to smell the roses, you may have an early or late lunch. Your car will finish charging before you finish the meal. If you're really hard slogging, do a 6-minute charge on a bathroom break in a couple of hours. You may have enough to get to your next hotel, one with charging. If not, you can repeat the lunch trick at a charger with a dinner restaurant. There are a few other methods and tricks as well. This trip's in a Tesla, but the techniques apply to any car and any charging network, although Tesla's in-car route planner does help. They say charity begins at home, but a road trip in your EV definitely begins at home. Hopefully you have cheap nighttime electricity. In my case, I have solar panels with net metering, so my power is very cheap and in a way already paid for. It's not free, but compared to fast charging, it's close. So off we go. This is a common route for us, and we usually want to charge around Atascadero, California. The charger there is the slower 120 kilowatt model that shares power with its neighbors, but that's actually a plus here. When you do zero-wait charging, sometimes the fast chargers are just way too fast. They were this time, as instead of one of the various restaurants near the charger, there's a brunch place, a Korean, and a lesser Mexican, we decided to walk 5 minutes to a new, highly rated sandwich place. Mr. Pickle was great and worth it. And short on time, I phoned in an order in advance. The problem was that the charger was too fast. We cut short our meal and wrapped up our sandwiches for later in order to get back to move the car. That's the downside of the 5-minute walk. Moving the car isn't too hard with the closer places. There's a CCS charger next to Mr. Pickle, but it's only 50 kilowatts and it's pricey. Another place we like to charge on this route is the San Luis Obispo Public Market, which has a great food court with tons of quick local choices. Zero-wait charges are definitely better when you have two in the car. If driving alone, you need to plan in advance or use some of your charge time to plan your next stop. Your best tool is Google Maps. You can set it up to tell you what types of charge plug you use, and then search for things like fast electric vehicle charging. Look at the stations around the distance that you'll need to charge. Then switch to restaurant mode in Google Maps and review the restaurants and their ratings. I often click the Open Now filter and also the 4.5 and above filter as I want good food. You can see menus. You can almost always find a great meal at a good price and never go to fast food chains. For me, those are for emergencies, as eating local food is a big part of tourism. You can also use PlugShare and set filters for chargers more than 75 kilowatts next to dining. Make sure to reset those filters when you're looking for hotels. You can try asking an AI to list the top restaurants within a short walk of the fast chargers. I find that while the results look promising, and someday this will do the whole job, today they will miss many good restaurants near chargers. If you want to play, I've left a prompt example below. It's good to call the place to assure they're open, or even to order the food. As I said, you'll be fully charged before you're done, so a head start helps. Perfectly fine to have a relaxed meal too, as long as you can move your car or don't pay idle fees. Fortunately, you only have to walk one way when you need to do that. If you're doing under about 450 miles that day, you might not even take a full charge if your hotel has free charging. You're just wasting money. This trip, we booked our hotel in advance. It was Saturday, and hotels had doubled prices and rooms were scarce. Usually it's much easier, but here's where we need better tools. In the future, this should be a pretty automatic process. Today, you need to find a hotel that has charging, and it matters a fair bit to you what the price is. Free charging is probably worth $30 to you, even though it costs the hotel only $5. Some hotel search apps will let you search for hotels with charging, but they don't give you enough information. That's why I use the PlugShare app. This is PlugShare, which is a great app for finding charging at any time, particularly with hotels. Now, when you set up PlugShare, you want to show what plugs your car takes, which I've done. And so you can then go in and also look at the fast chargers versus the slow. There's quite a bit of flexibility in what you're searching for. When you're looking for a hotel, a good thing to do is to go in and say, show me only charging that is near lodging. And we'll go into the area that I was going, and we'll see there's a few hotels here that you can look at. Here's in Lompoc, California, where the rocket launches are. And let's take a look at this one. Now, this hotel is not a bad hotel, but they want $25 to charge, which is, about the same as you're going to pay at a fast charger. So while it's a good convenient place to go, you won't go there because of price. You might also look at this Hilton, where they do say it's free to guests, or this Embassy Suites, where it says there could be a $6 payment, which is perfectly reasonable and fair sort of payment for a hotel to ask. It'll cover their electricity costs. I ended up looking up here in a little town about 20 minutes to the north where there were some cheaper hotels. This is the town of Santa Maria, and in particular, this Radisson here says that they have a bunch of Tesla chargers and some wall plugs, and that it's free, but you should check with the hotel. So once you've got a list of what hotels do it, this is a travel lodge, but you'll notice this terrible score of 3.1. And so you'll look and you'll see that people are having a lot of trouble. The chargers aren't working. They don't initiate. That's not going to be one of your first choices. Here's a Hampton Inn. And this one wants $2.50 an hour. That's a crazy price for hotel charging. That's going to cost you, $25, $30 during the night. Not, again, going to be your first choice. Today, annoyingly, you will have to make a quick list in your memory or by hand of the hotels in the area you are going with good charging. Free is, of course, best, and fair prices are also okay. Higher prices, like 50 cents a kilowatt hour, will not save you money over the fast chargers, but they will add convenience. Free is almost always going to be your first choice. It's worth going to a hotel that costs $30 more. In fact, more than worth it, because that hotel is normally also a better hotel. My favorite app for looking for hotels is Google Maps, although there are a lot of different sites and apps that will look for hotels. What I typically do is turn on their hotel search, and I also tell it that I want to get a hotel that scores 4.0 and above. I find those hotels tend to always be pretty good. You have to set your dates for your stay, of course, and then you can take a look. Now, if you remember, when you looked for the charging, you can see that these hotels here in Lompoc were available. The one's $120. That's, of course, the price before taxes, and sometimes it's a fake price. You do have to check for that because they use a lot of different hotel reference sites, some of them which won't give you the truth. And $175 plus tax. You click on them and you actually can see that it's really about $210 or $190 in this king bedroom. And so if you don't want to pay that much, you look around, and as I mentioned, you can go up to let's go up to Santa Maria, and we see that that Radisson, this is the one I ended up picking. I mean, look at that great price, $76 plus tax, and a good rating for the hotel, 4.1. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. You may have remembered the Hampton one. That's another good choice, not that much more money. So from there, you can find the hotel and the one with the best charging and the best price. Oh, the Hampton, remember, it was very expensive charging, so no point in staying there when you can get that Radisson for $7. I mean, think about what a great deal that is, by the way, $76, and you're going to get $30 in value from the electricity compared to going to a supercharger. So it's like you've gotten a hotel for $50. You can't even get an RV parking spot for that. So that's how to find a hotel with good charging. Sadly, NASA scrubbed the rocket launch, or I would have had some amazing videos to insert here. I'll show you some older videos of a different launch. This one was supposed to have a landing and a space jellyfish. The charging is worth $30 because not only will it save you the typical $20 to $25 cost of a fast charger, it will do it with no detour and, you guessed it, zero weight. It's also nicer to your battery. Plus, if you need it, you can charge to 90 to 95%, even 100% if really needed. 100% is always okay with an LFP battery car. At a fast charger, going over about 80% slows the charging down a lot, and going to 100% can take a lot of time. You don't care about that at a hotel. You don't have to preheat the battery, and you can warm your car and battery in the morning easily. You can even keep your car from freezing at night. It's better in every possible way, not just the price. The one risk is a hotel with only one or two chargers may fill up. Today, almost no hotels will reserve a charger for you. Someday that will change. I've only found them full once in all my travels. In that case, they weren't truly full. The other car was already done, but the hotel didn't have a rule forcing the driver to move their car. But the first driver was there and said he only needed a small bit of extra charge, where I was down to 5%, and he was very courteous. So I've actually always gotten a charge, though this won't last forever. If it happens, though, the worst case is that I miss out on zero weight and have to go to a fast charger in the morning. In that case, since this hotel didn't have breakfast, I would have done a zero weight breakfast charge instead of the free overnight charge. The charge at the Radisson let me have a very nice day wandering Central California. We visited an air museum by the hotel, our favorite beach town of Pismo Beach, and the state parks at Montana de Oro and Morro Bay. With a 2-day delay on the rocket, we gave up and headed home. I wish doing this didn't require as much research as it does. In the future, most hotels will have charging, and Hotel Search will let you find the ones that suit you. And an app will not only say, "Show me charging with good food," it will have a button to order popular menu items, maybe even delivered to your car if it's a nice day. I searched myself for a charger with good dinner. You can do that on the Tesla screen or in Google Maps. There I discovered a brand new Mexican restaurant across the street from the Supercharger at the north end of Soledad with perfect ratings. The south end has CCS chargers and a supercharger and also has some great restaurants. This new taqueria was absolutely amazing, some of the best food I've had in the Salinas Valley. I told the chef to give a welcome to Tesla drivers.
Okay, la segunda cordial invitación de Taquitos Fernández a los drivers que vienen de Tesla, están aquí enfrente de Chevron en Soledad, California.
The station was empty, so it had no idle fees. We stopped charging after about 15 minutes because all we needed was to get home, where I would charge from my solar panels the next day. There are many great spots to eat and stay on these routes, and most others. Stay tuned for more stories of zero-weight charging. Once you've done this, I don't think you'll ever want to go back to waiting to charge again, and you'll stop caring how fast chargers are. You can also learn other great tricks. For example, I pack this briefcase table in my trunk, and sometimes if there's no great food by a charger or we only need a short charge, we set it up with camp chairs and bring takeout or leftovers from our cooler or fridge. It's an electric car, so it can run a fridge. We think all charging stations should have a picnic tables at least if the weather is nice. We've done tens of thousands of miles and hundreds of meals and almost never waited. In the future, it will be easy for everybody to do this, and people will wonder why they fussed about ultra-fast charging with its long waits and high prices. We want our EV to be better than driving gasoline in every possible way. If you have to wait, it's not better, so we don't accept that.